Absolutely. Well, just moving on now to Steemit,
Yeah.
something I'm very excited about. I tipped you off about Steemit quite a long time ago, and it's good to see you rising in the ranks so much.
Uh,
Why?
bizarrely, Josh, I was talking to somebody over the weekend, and they said to me, "How did you come about Steemit?" And I said, "Well, what I did about 4 years ago, I was looking for a social media on the blockchain. That's what I started to look at, and of course, it wasn't around. And then I'll never forget, you contacted me. I think it was via Twitter, and you said, "Have you seen this Steemit?" And I was tired. I remember it was a Friday night, and I was tired, and I thought, "Oh, what's this Steemit?" And I didn't do anything for about an hour, and I went away, came back, got my computer on, typed in Steemit, and within seconds, it was what I'd been looking for, and it was at that point, and I think we've had this conversation before. From
Mhm.
that point, I thought this is it. This is 4 years for the blockchain, but certainly I've been waiting 10 years for a site like Steam to come along, and I am so excited about it. It's. I mean, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop. If, for somebody of my age, I've been in business for 30 years, and I've got 30 years experience in business and companies, and I would say I would have to probably go back 12 years to a time when I was this excited. So Steemit, for me, Steemit is just fantastic. It is. It's just brilliant. It
Well,
is brilliant.
why is Steemit such a brilliant innovation in blockchain, and can it potentially overtake other social media platforms or even force
Oh,
them to adapt? And I know what you're going to say, but just for the viewers to hear.
okay. Right. Well, what we need to understand, really, what we need to understand is what happened in the 70s and the 80s and how capital markets were built up before the internet. And of course, you've got shareholders. So you've got a capital market. So you get investors who buy shares, and then that company will have revenue which will generate profits, and those profits will then go back to the shareholders either in dividends or the share price goes up. And that was the capital market. So that was the 70s and pre the internet. Then in 2000 or the 90s, when the internet took off, when you got your dot coms, of course, then what actually happened? You've then got the Facebooks, you've got all the social media sites that again were built on shareholders. So
Mhm.
you've got exactly the same structure that was set up in the 70s and in the 80s prior to the internet, which were then valuing the companies. So you've got Facebook, it's worth about 440 billion or something, but it's actually owned by the shareholders. So the shareholders own the company. Then, because it's obviously then free to use, well, if it's 440 billion, is 1.6 billion people, but it's free to use. Where's the money coming from? Where actually is the revenue coming from? Well, people say it's adverts, or no, they're selling the data. So all these people talking on Facebook and chatting and sharing and communications and all that data is being grabbed and is being packaged and sold off, and that's where the bulk of the money is coming from. That's where the value comes from, which is great. That's great, yeah, if you're into that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But I always said in 2004 when Facebook came about, well, this isn't really social media. This is a platform that allows people to communicate, but it isn't real social media. It's a bit of sharing. It's a bit of likes. If someone's put a photograph, I like your photograph, or I like this, or you've been on. That's great, but that's not real social media. What's real social media is where people interact, and when they bring value, they should be rewarded for that value. Not There's no shareholders. The community should say, you know what, Josh, that video that you've just posted or that interview that you've just brought, that's your content. You've created it. That has value. This interview that we're having now has value. It could have anything from a penny to millions. It doesn't matter. It's got value. So if that value is being rewarded, why put it into the pockets of a shareholder? So of
Mhm.
course, when you made that famous private message or that email to me, and you said, have a look at Steemit. The moment I saw it, the split second I saw it, I thought, this is it. This is exactly what I've been looking for 10 years for social media, but for 4 years on the blockchain. And now, I mean, if you actually understand what Steemit is, and I think we talked about it last time, is it a blogging tool with a cryptocurrency, or is it a cryptocurrency supported by a blogging tool? From that interview that we had, or from that question that you gave me last time, Josh, I'm going to take it the next step now. When we had that last interview, I was obviously looking at the blogging side, which is phenomenal. The blogging goes on the blockchain is distributed, you can't manipulate it. If you want to change your blog, the original's still there, so you can't put something on and then take it off because it's still on the blockchain. So when I looked at it as a blogging tool, I was blown away. Since then, my word, the things that I'm involved in on the ecosystem of Steem is phenomenal. I've recently been blogging about entrepreneurship and building a business model purely in the Steem community. And the best way to explain it is, think of a town or a city or a country or a continent that has people. Now, at the moment, we've got people buying and selling with US dollars, with sterling, with the yen. So they're buying and selling and they're talking to each other. You put that into a community online where people can share comments, but then they can buy and sell. Now, recently I've put a marketing proposal for Steemit, and I strongly believe that where Steemit is going to take off is not by the individuals blogging, which is the bread and butter, and I'm absolutely all for individuals putting blogs up, putting their comments up, talking. That is fantastic. But where the money's going to come from is enterprises building bespoke business models within the community. And just to give you for instance, and just to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, let's say if you was a homebrew making company and you had a kit and you were selling that kit. Now, you might be selling that kit for, say, $30. Go on Amazon, you buy your kit, you make your beer, you drink it, happy days. But if you actually sold that in Steem and you say, there's my kit, I'm going to sell it in the community for 50 Steem. Somebody buys it, they've got a wallet, they send you 50 Steem, you send them their kit. Then they make it, blog about it, talk about it, say how fantastic it was, and all of a sudden you've actually built a complete ecosystem where people can buy and sell in Steem, talk about it, and they're actually being rewarded. So you'll get, I think, and it won't take long, you'll get companies where will they be accepting Steem, but they'll be accepting Steem so that people can tell people, I bought this, I bought it in Steem. And then once you've got that, I can't even begin to tell you the numbers that I'm talking about, because now you've got what is called a true social media entity. You've got people talking, you've got people buying and selling, you've got companies that are effectively marketing and promoting. Well, there's no shareholders. It's the Steem that's actually holding the value. And recently, you've probably seen it. Everybody's seen it over the weekend. We've had a massive spike in new users. We've had a massive spike in the price. And to be quite honest with you, we've not even scratched the surface.
Well, absolutely. I think it's amazing the rise in Steam in recent weeks. It's totally incredible, and I've watched it happen before at a much more minor scale earlier on in Steemit's life, but it continues to grow, and it's at the perfect time too, because at this
Yeah,
point in time, YouTube, Facebook, they're pushing people that disagree with the establishment narrative out of the picture. They are demonetizing, they are censoring, and it's become really drastic for a lot of us to try and put out our work and try and make money off of it. And at this exact time, as people are leaving YouTube and leaving Facebook, people are going to Steemit. And Steemit, it poses to be such an incredible opportunity for people.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
wanted to ask, you've been educating people in the street lately about Steemit and have found most aren't aware of it yet. This seems to prove a massive opportunity to still get in on the ground floor. Would you agree?
Absolutely. What I did, there's the marketing brochure that I put together, and what it was about 6 weeks ago. There's a guy who joined Steemit and Mitchell, and he came in as a marketing guy. The owners, Ned and the Steemit Inc. Brought Mitchell to the table, and Mitchell looked at the whole ecosystem, and his first comment or his first recommendation was to crowdsource the marketing, and because of my sort of my perception or my vision of Steemit, I got it straight away, and I sent Mitchell a blog or a comment, and I basically said, in fact, I think I did a video on YouTube. I said, I get it, 100% get it, and I gave Mitchell 100% of my support. And people were saying, no, we should be outsourcing the marketing. We should be bringing a marketing company in. Why? Why bring a marketing company in and tell a marketing company what we know as a community, only to give them money so that they can pay their overheads and take a profit? No, no. I think the best way to market the Steemit is by the bloggers. So I put a 6-part or a 7-part marketing initiative proposal together, and basically it starts off with leveraging what we've got. We've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. So basically, is to leverage what we've got. If you've got a network, and my network is something like about 10,000. So if you've got those followers across your network, keep telling them, keep telling them. Because as you keep telling them, you have to keep reminding people. If you tell them once, they'll forget about it. If you tell them twice, 3 times, 4, if you continually tell them the story, then people will go, oh, again, again. And of course, with Bitcoin, I knew that Bitcoin was going to go up. So with the LinkedIn and the Twitter, I put 2 coins in 2010, in 2016, 17, and it's going up. And I've been sharing that. And people will suddenly think, well, hang on a minute. What is this Steemit? Let me have a look at this. So I strongly believe that the best people to market is us. So I put this proposal together, and yesterday, for the first time, there's 5,000 flyers that I ordered from the printers, and I went out. I spent the day. I spent the day in a campus in Manchester, a university campus in Manchester, and it was a gorgeous day. Got sunburned, and the campus, there was grassed areas. There was 4 grassed areas, and in those grassed areas, about, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 70 per grassed area in groups. They sat on the floor, and I just went up to every group, and I must have covered over 200 students, over 200, and I spoke to them, and I basically just asked them, a basic question: do you use Facebook? Do you use Twitter? What sort of social media? How much do you get paid? What? What do you mean, how much do I get paid? Well, how much are you paid? Well, we don't do it. We do it all for free. And are you happy with that? No. And I swear to God, I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. For me, if I was owning one of those companies, I'd be doing that. There's your market. There's your market. You go to your market and you ask them, are you happy? No. Why are you happy? Well, I'm not happy. So, of course, I then gave them the leaflets. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What's this? What do you mean blogging? What do you mean photographs? People making money. Got my mobile phone out, show them. And honestly, I was amazed. I was expecting a bit of friction. I was expecting negativity. There was one guy who there was a group of 4 young lads. He was a bit, leery. And I gave the lads the leaflets, and he said, "What's this?" And I said, "It's a blogging site. It's a blogging site, and you'll be able to earn money." He got his leaflet and ripped it up and threw it on the floor. And I said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "No one gives away free money." I said, "What?" He said, "No one gives away free money." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the name, and you will remember the name." I said, "It's Steemit, and you will remember that." As I turned around, one of his mates said, "Have you read this leaflet? This is stunning. This is unbelievable." So the lad who ripped the leaflet up leaned over, and I could see him. He said, "Can I have yours?" He said, "No, you ripped yours up." He picked it up off the floor. And that, now to me, that is your market. I was stunned. I came away, distributed over 1,000 leaflets, and I came away and I thought, I don't believe it. If I'd have got reactions where people were, saying that they were comfortable or this, they were getting rewards, they were contributing and they were being paid, and this is just another one. No, not at all. What I found when I came away, I actually rang a few of my friends up and I said, "This is it. This is it. I swear to God, this is it. There's going to be a mass migration. People are simply fed up." When the internet was switched on and social media came and Facebook came in 2004, it was great. We can talk, we can chat, but people are now fed up. They're seeing these huge organizations making billions out of what? Out of their information. And something like Steemit comes along and shakes it up and says, "You know what? We don't want that money. You produce the content, you have the money." And what the owners have done on Steem, and it's not rocket science, they just said, "Well, we'll buy the Steem. So they bought the Steem, and I've bought the Steem, and all the smart people have bought the Steem. And now, and last time I looked, I think it was around about $1.03 or something, spiked at 137, 136, I think it was. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We haven't even took it to the market. Could you imagine if you took that 1,000 leaflets and went to every campus, every university, but not 1,000 leaflets, 10,000 leaflets, 10,000 leaflets in every university? It won't take long. It will not take long. And once people start earning $5, $10, $20, my account is about $12,000. And this is what it should be like. I've produced what I call valuable information. Some people might read my blog and think, "Well, I don't understand it. I don't get it." And they'll see somebody's picture where it's a scenery, and they'll think, "Oh, I like that." Well, that's fine. I absolutely get that. And if that scenery picture gets $30 and my blogging of derivatives gets $5, I'm happy with that. I totally get it. Because somewhere along the lines, people will actually say, "Hang on a minute, this what he's been saying is right." And it was right then, and it's right now, and it's right. So as it goes up, that scenery picture will always stay $30. A scenery picture today is exactly the same as the scenery picture, if it's the same picture. But if you produce a story, my story on Steemit is about Steemit. And that's my story, because I've been able to break down into the blockchain and understand the technology behind it. So if you actually understand the technology and you think, "Hang on a minute," if you apply that technology across an ecosystem, across a complete business plan, I mean, at the moment, I think the last time I looked, it was about 200 million. 200 million is pocket change. pocket change. And recently, I've talked, and I will stand by it, that if Steemit does what I think it's going to do, but it's not Steemit, it is the Steem ecosystem. You know, you've got the Steem currency, which is the market cap. The Steemit, or Steemit, is the blogging side. But what I think is going to happen is you're going to have these pockets of enterprises that are going to start coming out. So you'll have various different enterprises, and you'll then build. And I've said, I mean, I'll stick by what I've said. There's a potential of Steem, the ecosystem, being a 500 billion powerhouse. 500 billion. And people say, well, that's just mad, that. People will look at that and say, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. And what is 500 billion? What is 500 billion? Bit of Facebook, bit of Google, bit of YouTube, bit of Amazon, bit of Microsoft, bit of IBM. You put all that together, 500 billion is nothing really. Half a trillion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the market is so diverse. It's open to anyone. Steemit is incredible. And just because we're running out of time, Stephen, just quickly, do you see Steemit itself, like the Steem, the cryptocurrency, hitting something like, say, $10,000 over the next 10 years or something along those lines?
Yeah. Well, the trouble with the difference between Steem and Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is capped at 21 million. That is a fundamental difference between Steem. Steem is a growing. So as the community grows, then there will be new Steem. So, you know, whatever 220 million Steem they've got today will go up. So that is always going to be a problem. Could I see it over $100? Could I see it over $100? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, could I see it $200? Absolutely. You know, what I'm interested in is not the actual, is it $50, $100 or $200? Can I see it? Can I see it a 500 billion powerhouse? Absolutely. 100%. And it's that you really have to hang on. And, you know, people are talking about, I don't know whether, you know, people have been following the powering up and powering down. As far as I'm concerned, I'm on a one-way ticket, power up all the way. You know, for me, Steem or Steemit is a 5 to 7 year project for me. You know, I joined in August of 2016 and we're 9 months or 8 months into it. And really, for me, whether it's $1 or 50 cents or $1.50, I'm not really that bothered. As long as it's going up, that's all I'm interested in. You know, is it going up? Was it higher? Is it higher today than it was yesterday? Yeah, that's good enough for me. You know, yeah. And you're going to get these swings up and these spikes up, 136 crashing down to, you know, oh, it's crashed down to 70 cents. Well, it's not crashed down to 70 cents because it was 10 cents a few days ago. So it's going up. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm in it for the long haul. You know, 5 years. And I think, and I'll be more than happy to come back to this in a year's time, but I think you're going to see millionaires being created on Steem.
Well,
and it's going to, yeah, it's going to, and I tell you who it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the people who get the concept, and it's going to be the first adopters. I speak to a lot of young, what I call budding entrepreneurs, and I've told everybody, I'm 50. If I was in my early 20s, I'd be absolutely building a business model around Steem, because if you was the first, then people will follow it. People will take your model and just follow it. But if you're the first, it's always easy. It's always easier to be the first.
Mm. So, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think it's incredible considering, and all the same, I mean, if you say you have $12,000 in it today and it goes up to $100 or $200, I think you're going to have a good time saying "I told you so" in the future.
I won't have a good time, but I'll be buying you a drink, Josh. I'll be buying you a flight ticket and I'll be flying you over it and buying you a drink.
Absolutely.
Bye.